Sentiment around XRP is super bearish right now, but the last time that happened, XRP frickin' mega rallied. Precious metals are also looking really healthy because Jerome screwed us up. What are the odds that we're going to get a rate cut, and will that give us any price action? BTC, ETH, XRP.
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
I nibbled a little bit this morning. I didn't go full balls deep. I was just nibbling. Why? Because we might have more opportunities to nibble later. Ooh, heat map. It's mostly red with different shades of red. That's right, we're back to the OG heat map, everyone, where XLM is under 25 cents, ETH at 3104, XP at 206, BNB under 900, 886. But we're going to do your comments first. Why? Because you, the viewer, matter most. Starting us off today, we have Spec War 1966 says, the Fonz ain't scared of stinking shark cages. Keep it real, Klaus, and Merry Christmas. The Fonz ain't scared of anything, and his hair remains perfect. Mr. Fantastic, always great comments from this gentleman, says, hey, Klaus, ever thought about uploading your content to Spotify? That way people can listen while driving. That's a really good idea. I honestly don't know enough about the Spotify market, but I think a lot of you out there listen rather than watch more than I thought. So maybe I got to start working on my oral presentation. Where's my wife at? David Bush says, I'm part of the podcast. Klaus, we got another listener only here. I would like you to vocalize the price numbers more, but the info is delivered just fine. I will do my best to make it so that people that are audio only get as juicy of an experience as possible. Here, audio only fans. That's some Guatemalan iced coffee. I won't describe the cup, but it's a white tumbler, clear lid, some juicy Guade brew in there. All right, heat map, mostly red. I said to you yesterday, I'm going to buy if HBAR starts getting down to that 13.5 mark, and here we are. I didn't get impatient, to be honest with you, and that's a big lesson I want to teach all of y'all. I bought a ton right here, and then when it went up, I'm like, nope, not chasing it. It's coming right back down into my buy zone. The lower it goes, the more I buy. Altcoin season index, no, it's red heat map index, and also red background for Klaus index. 21 out of 100 for those of you that are listening right now for altcoin season index. Volume $126 billion. So volume a little softer this week. Gotta be honest with you, I have a feeling it's going to pick up quite heavily next week because you have Jerome Powell and the Fed and the expected 25 basis point cut. Bitcoin rally unlikely in January of 2026, says 21 shares co-founder. Wait, what? A pro-crypto person is saying that January is going to be bearish as well? Well, what if we don't get the regs in January, but we get it in February or March? I could see that. January, we've got another meeting with the Fed. They're not expected to cut rates at this one. We're expected to get one rate cut for these next two meetings. Next meeting, December 10th, about 5 days away. Meeting after that, that's in January. When in January? The 28th of January. Right now, up on the screen, 87.2% chance that we're going to get a quarter rate cut. Audio fans, you liking what I'm doing here? Now, go to the January one, and oh, it's really not that juicy. Only a 25% chance that we're going to get two cuts. Back-to-back cuts. So right now, you got the co-founder, Ophelia Snyder, from where everyone, 21 shares, who's a very bullish, right, crypto person. That's what you have to think about when you listen to all these articles and stories. If the person is a big gold person, like a big gold bug, they're most likely going to shit on crypto. If a person is a big crypto fan, they're probably going to be talking bullish about crypto. Well, here we have a super bullish person saying, yo, January might not be so hot. Bitcoin faces headwinds that could prevent a repeat of its early 2025 surge, according to 21 Shares co-founder Ophelia Snyder. Market conditions remain uncertain as broader sentiment weighs in largest cryptocurrency. Snyder told reporters that the factors driving current volatility are unlikely to be resolved soon. I completely agree. Why are we seeing so much volatility? We don't have regs, and we've got another United States government shutdown looming over our heads, and we saw how damaging that was for crypto when the United States government shut down. The crypto peaked at 109,000 on January 9th before Trump's inauguration. Now, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about last year, peak fear, and the rebounds that happened since. Now, remember, though, 109,000 last year, January 9th, during the inauguration. October, BTC, 126,000. So There's some times where BTC got pounded, and there's some times where it rebounded. Snyder expressed long-term optimism despite near-term challenges. She views the recent correction as tied to general risk-off sentiment across broader markets rather than crypto-specific factors, and that's what I completely agree to. I totally agree with this. Why? Because right now, this isn't just something that's like bad with crypto. The whole world is pausing right now. That's why gold, chart up on the screen right now, for the 1 month is absolutely bonkers. That's why silver, 1 month chart that's up on the screen right now, is absolutely bonkers. Because these players out there are going, yo, it's not crypto that we're freaked out about. We're freaked out about government policy. We're freaked out about capital flows. We're freaked out about available capital in the retail and institutional market. So this isn't a crypto problem. This is a global macros problem. Now, if this was a crypto problem, like remember when FTX melted? Remember when Luna, UST, and all that stuff crashed? Those were crypto problems. All right? That's different. That's when we start panicking about crypto itself. This is just a risk change, a pivot. And I told y'all yesterday, I am moving around a ton of funds to make available some buys. See all these slabs right here? Yeah, all these slabs I'm auctioning off to buy some other things that are going to be juicier, in my opinion. Several catalysts could drive crypto higher, including expanded ETF access on major platforms, increased government adoption, rising demand for value stores beyond gold. And you got to remember, too, if gold keeps getting crazy expensive, people are going to be like, oh, I don't know. Might want to hedge with something else. See my point? Precious metals soar. Bitcoin stalls as investors hedge the Fed's policy area. The Fed had an error with policy. They waited too long to cut rates. They had a really long time where they paused and kept rates high. That damage we're feeling right now across the board as access to capital is pretty tough and it's expensive relative to recent times. Gold and silver continue to outstrip Bitcoin's yearly performance, with traders betting further on uncertainty ahead of the Fed's decision on December 10th. We're going to get the rate cut December 10th. Don't worry about it. We're going to get the rate cut, 87.2% odds. If we don't, the market is going to shit itself. I mean red up on the screen, like hemorrhoid red. Like Santa Claus's cheeks in the winter when I'm delivering gifts red. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer's red. So what I'm going to do, just in case the Fed fucks us, I'm going to have a ton of cash put to the side ready to buy in case we get a flash crash with an unexpected quarter. Because remember, it's all about expectation versus reality. The expectation is we're going to get a quarter cut. Hopefully the reality is the same. Now, precious metals, a lot of you hedge with. So do I. For every risky bet I make, I put a lot of money into shiny stuff. Investors are positioning for a potential Fed policy error. The analyst noted a scenario where the central bank begins cutting rates while inflation remains above its 2% target. Inflation is above its 2% target, and they're going to have to cut because there'd be more damage if they don't cut. Now, this defensive rotation has created a stark three-way divergence. While metals surge, traditional risk on equities have also rallied to their own merits. NASDAQ and S&P are up, but crypto has not. Now, gold, silver, charts up on the screen. Everything you're seeing in this video, it's all linked in the description below. Why do I have this chart up here? Because look, some of our favorites are starting to come down. BTC is right around that 90,000 mark again. Let's go to the one-day chart for BTC, and what are we looking at right here? Oh, yeah, I see what's going on. When was the last time? Not too long ago. So you could definitely do a little bit of buying here, but this is also coming around the Christmas season where a lot of retail saves their money for other things. ETH, same thing, right? ETH had a nice healthy move, and now ETH is starting to come on back down, not to this nasty zone, but into the quasi-friend zone. BTC, let's go to that 15-minute. Oh, not back down to the nasty zone, but getting closer. Now, XRP FUD peaks as Ripple announces one-stop shop for crypto infrastructure. This is very interesting because this chart right here shows you all the times there was peak fear, and look what happened after big time rallies. The last time we saw this level of fear from the crowd was November 21st, and XRP's price immediately rallied 22% over the next 3 days. After that, greed took over and the rally came to a quick halt. As of now, opportunity appears to be emerging just like 2 weeks ago. That's right. When people get beaten down the most, it's usually when things rally, right? An analyst firm Sentiment released data confirming the sentiment washout. Their weighted social sentiment chart flashed multiple green circles, indicating days where bearish commentary overwhelmingly drowned out the bullish thesis, pushing the asset deep into the fear zone. Such levels of fear were last seen on November 1st, were then preceded by a sharp 22% within 3 days. So like I told you, I am going to be nibbling until we get to certain levels. We start talking HBAR like $12.99, I'm going bigger. And I'm going to look at this recent history right here to kind of tell me what I'm looking at. So for XRP fans, I got the 15-minute chart for you up on the screen. I'm looking at this right here going, you know what? 206 doesn't excite me. Sub 2? Yeah. We've gotten sub 2 plenty of times here in the last month. So you don't need to chase, you can snipe. That's my thoughts. Notably, the red circles on sentiment chart coincided with market tops and overheated signals. Today's social sentiment again has collapsed to the same level of extreme negativity. Some of y'all call this the contrarian entry zone. By the way, this all linked down below as well. XRP price chart volume, $3.18 billion. Like I said, we're kind of getting back into the buy zone for a lot of y'all. Look, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. There is no way in hell I would buy XRP above $2.05. No freaking way in hell. Just too many opportunities to buy it sub $2. With HBAR, there ain't no way I'm buying HBAR. Anything less than what, 14? Because again, we've had plenty of opportunities to buy it sub 14. Right before I went live here to do this recording, I did, like I said, nibble up a little HBAR. So the opportunities are there, and I'm going to play these opportunities when the screen is red instead of chasing green instead. Now, how nuts am I going with this buying? Well, I got to be honest with you. I'm going pretty big comparatively to relative times. Why? Look, crypto will roar on regs. We just don't know if they're going to happen yet. So my whole thesis behind this thing is I'm playing the crypto regaroni pump. And remember, a lot of crypto news is what everyone pumps and dumps. That's why I'm looking at this as more of a short-term play for some of the assets that I've been buying now. I'm not touching my long-term bags. This is me just in my short-term fun. I got to have some degen fun too, okay? I can't just be Mr. Long-Term Klaus. I'm long-term relationship guy, but come on, sometimes with crypto, you got to trade on the short. So I'm looking at that pump, and that's what I'm playing. And I'm also looking at it going, I think Trump's family has so much invested in crypto that, again, Trump himself has a lot of reason to steer the regs to happening. So the market right now is like, look, we don't want to take the risk. Credit is extremely expensive. So let's kind of de-risk a little bit. Let's go back more into gold and silver. Even though prices are high, it's a lot safer place for us to park our money than other risk assets. That makes sense. But this could also be the contrarian entry point. There are certain industries, certain sectors that get beat down. You buy them when they're beat down and you play them on the way up, and then they hit their cycle peaks, and then you do the same thing, rinse and repeat. The stock market is like that with a lot of sectors. I'm currently gobbling up more oil stuff. So when oil has its next run, I've already been buying low, and I could sit on the side and earn some dividends. So just throwing it out there. There's some contrarian plays at hand, and there's also a lot of negative sentiment right now, which the last time that happened, XRP rallied 22%. Now, if we get some subcommittee votes happening later this month, juicy. We get the quarter cut from Jerome Powell. We're expecting it, so I don't expect juicy prices from that. I expect the potential of extreme red if he doesn't do that. Now, if we got another cut in January, yes, we could then see more of a market rally. Why? Because there's only a 25% chance right now priced in by the market of that quarter cut in January, back-to-back quarter cuts. So it's all about expectations versus reality. Me, like I said, I am selling a whole bunch of slabs, and yes, some of them out there. Hold on. I gotta show you real quick. Hold on, it's near the bottom. Some of them out there are going to be some Charizards. Why? Because I want to buy some other stuff right now. A lot of these cards are up 20, 50, 80, 100%. So I'm going to rotate the profits, and that's what I'm saying. It happens in the Pokemon market, it happens in the gold and silver market, it happens in the housing market, it happens in every freaking market. Players play the moves and rinse and repeat them. Capital bounces from sector to sector to sector that's high. AI stole a lot of this capital recently, right? There was a big money pull from AI to crypto. We've seen that. You see it represented in the stock market as companies like NVIDIA and the other ones out there are just getting insane volume and price action. So what am I doing? I'm waiting for my targets. Why? Because certain things are coming back down to them and daddy is buying. I'm also drinking, a little ASMR for the audio fans, some Guade iced coffee. It's a blend from Cafe Palace. Choo choo what? Well, the sign says it behind me. Oh, I'm sorry. You're listening to today's program? Well, there's a neon sign over my head. It's over my right shoulder, okay? And it says 3 words. One of them is naughty, but I don't give a fuck because there's a disclaimer in the beginning. So let's say it all together. It goes choo choo and then B word, rhymes with snitches, witches, and stitches. But instead it says this, choo choo bitches.